Greetings. Namaste. What's happening? What's up to you all? Got to speak in many different languages and many different lingos, if you will, because we have different people that view these videos. So have to try to address everyone. Try to speak everyone's language. But on this episode, what I want to do is I want to speak on something that's been on my mind. I've been having conversations about, with I guess different people, and these people don't even know each other. And I don't think that everybody realizes that they're all kind of talking about the same thing. And I want to talk about spirituality in reference to being radical. I want to kind of address, some of the recent current events that have been going on and going down in the news. You got cops shooting up people, things of that nature. You have people being falsely accused for things they haven't done. The government is basically showing their ass right about now and showing who they really are at the end of the day. So I just kind of want to address, like, is it really necessary, or is it really acceptable, or does the ancestors approve of radical consciousness? Is being radical and being conscious, should that even be spoke of in the same sense? That's what I kind of want to speak on this episode. And I'm saying this because, like, you have two types of conscious people that I usually come into contact with. One conscious person or one conscious individual is a particular individual that's, peace, love, incense, let's connect with Earth, let's balance the planet, let's use these crystals and these things to heal the Earth, and let's go meditate and start a prayer circle or what may have you so we can change this world type of situation. Let's save the animals type of conscious person. Then you have the conscious person that's radical. That's what they would call radical, that maybe some people even call kind of like racist even. And this person is like, no, we have to start a revolution. Let's start a goddamn riot up in this motherfucker. Like, you got conscious people that's on that type of stuff. Let's take back what's ours. This is our land. We're natives of this land. Let's take this land back from those that oppressed us. And I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when you embrace consciousness, you have a choice to be one or the other. But you can't really, when you're conscious, you can't really, like, ride the fence. You have to decide which one you're going to be. I mean, now don't get me wrong, you do have a third option, a third conscious person that's kind of more of a person that's caught up into the economics of consciousness and, attracting better situations for yourself and, getting money and resources so that you can make your life better and things of that nature, and to attract abundance. You have that conscious person. However, to be that type of conscious person that's more so concerned with abundance and wealth, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying to be that type of conscious person, you could still be on either side of the other two options that I spoke of earlier. You could still be radical, or you could be peace and love and incense type and still attract abundance. So abundance is really not really the question that I'm really speaking of here when it comes to understanding the different modes of consciousness. I'm speaking of, like, which one is more constructive based upon where we're at, from my views and my opinion. And I've been hearing this, and I've been kind of getting this question from a lot of people, so I want to kind of address it. Now, the thing about consciousness is that where we're at, if you have any concept of spirituality, like, I don't care what school of thought you come from or what you've studied, you have to believe that the world is basically in a comatose state. The world is dead. The human spirit is dead. When you talk about spirituality even, the human spirit has been dead for thousands of years. There were times on this planet when we were more spiritual, we were more in tune with nature. So we are in what's called a comatose state. The Bible talks about this. It talks about the resurrection of the dead. But my interpretation of that, when it says the resurrection of the dead, this is talking about the resurrection of the spirit. And spirituality is not all peace and love. A tornado that tears up 1,000,000 houses, that's spiritual. An earthquake that hurts a lot of people, that's spiritual. A tsunami, that's spiritual. But the sun being outside, that's spiritual as well, but that's spirituality when the earth is in a state of balance. But when you had thunderstorms and violent rain and things of that nature, these are things, the events that have to play out on the planet to balance the earth as well. So that's the other side of consciousness. And the reason why I'm bringing up weather is because people that are radical, that are like, you took our land type of thing, or you have beings occupying land that's not theirs and things of that nature, and they like, you owe us royalties, you owe us money and mortgages and things of that nature from occupying our land, and you don't want to pay, so therefore we are going to set some shit up, and we're going to get riot, we're going to riot and get violent and basically bring some ruckus up on this mug. That's spiritual. That's conscious. You can't knock a person like that. That's very conscious. That person is very awake. You can't say whether that person is right or wrong. You can say, well, they poor and they ain't got nothing, and and they just complaining or whatever because they don't have anything. Well, there are ways when you are radical and conscious that you can still attract abundance and wealth. It may be through modalities that a lot of people don't agree with, like extortion. But people that extort make money. There are wealthy people that extort people all the time. And that's what people fail to realize. So that's still abundance at the end of the day. So you could attract abundance that way. Or you could be the peaceful, sunny day type of conscious person that's burning incense and things of that nature, and that wants to do rituals to heal the planet and to make people better and take up donations and turn the other cheek type of conscious. That's conscious too, if you choose to be conscious on that level. But what I'm pointing out is that you can't judge one or the other. You can't judge one or the other, and really at the end of the day, you really are going to probably be on one side of the fence or the other, and you have to decide which side of the fence you're on. There are people that are illegitimately and illegally doing things on this planet. The only reason why they're allowed to do them is because of the fact that you basically are allowing them to do it, and you are the type of individual that is basically not using the universal laws to bring about justice, because the law is not a respecter of persons. So certain things that are done to other people, when one group of people oppresses another group of people, the only way that you're going to get justice is if that group of people that's getting oppressed ask for justice, and they have to do this constructively. So you can be constructively radical or destructively radical at the end of the day. Now, when the plight of black people, you got a lot of black people getting shot by police and things of that nature, and basically getting screwed by the cops and getting screwed by the system, and they want to do something. They rioting, and they doing different things. They're marching and doing different things like that, but still really have no results. And it's because you need to learn the law. See, be radical with the law. Use the real live constitutional law against these people. These people are operating off of codes. That's what you got to remember. They're oppressing you because of codes. And you can't use the Constitution because you don't want to attach to a nationality. So you put their codes into power by calling yourself black when you set up movements. And calling yourself black in different coded terms. These are what we call coded terms. So it's not about saying like, I acknowledge myself as being black, like as far as I know I have black skin, I'm a black person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from a legalese perspective. We're speaking legalese here. So you calling yourself black or even white and calling yourself these different terms that are coded, and you wonder why you get oppressed and you never get any results. You go tear up stuff and do this, and the next thing you know you're getting sued, and then they put fines on you once they contain the riot. They got guns bigger than yours. And you can't get anything because you don't want to be constructively radical. You need to learn how to become what's called a sovereign, a national. And you need to stop paying these people taxes because they're not doing nothing for you. You see, you go and do this, tear this stuff up, but then you go work a job and pay taxes the next day. You need to start your own businesses. You need to network with people that have businesses and do things with them, and start spending your money with people that are independent, so that you can build up a circular economy. Because if you keep spending money with the same people, it builds up wealth. You don't need a lot of people to support your business to build up wealth. You just need a few supporters, and if you form a community and y'all all spend money with each other, this builds on the economy. This builds up what's called equity. This multiplies. You can take this economy and tie it into the stock market. You see, and you can get other people, outsiders, to invest in you. You can start a hedge fund when you are independent and do things that you can't do when you are what's called a corporate fiction. When you call yourself black, you are calling yourself a corporation up under this corporation, and you wonder why you're getting extorted. You wonder why you're getting extorted by the Department of Justice, or the Department of Defense, I should say. You wonder why you're getting extorted by all these entities. It's because you won't tie yourself into sovereignty. When you call yourself a sovereign, the military has to protect you. See, they're not going to tell you this. That's right, the military has to protect you. So you don't need the police. The police, they say they're here to protect and serve, but at the end of the day, the military is supposed to protect all foreigners and all threats from people that are foreign to your land. This is your land. Because if you call yourself sovereign, you tie yourself into the land, and there's treaties protecting you on this land. And when you call yourself sovereign, even if you're from another nation, say for instance, you may be calling yourself sovereign and maybe originally from Nigeria or something like that, you tie in with Native American tribes and form treaties with Native American tribes, you are protected here. And the military is supposed to protect you here. So the police shouldn't be doing these things. The military is supposed to protect you from getting hurt. You say, well, they're not going to protect me, X, Y, and Z, because they ain't did it before, and so such and such. This person got shot. Trayvon Martin got, shot by that guy, X, Y, Z. They didn't protect him. Trayvon Martin was considered black and a minor. On top of that, and his parents are considered minors too, because they won't call themselves indigenous Moors. They won't call themselves Wachita Moors. You see? So there are things that you could do even right now. A lot of people don't know this or whatever, but there are people in government that consider themselves Moors, Wachita Moors. In government, politicians that will help you. You will get protection. You will be getting busted across the butt, and things of that nature. You don't have to go break into stores and get money. These people owe you money through what's called the Dawes Rolls. It's a whole nother thing. It's an exchange, that money that's basically owed to you, payments that you're supposed to get from being a Native American. And they taking that money and converting it into food stamps, Section 8 housing, things of that nature. They taking your money and giving it right back to you. That's your money, and you can distribute it and control that whole fund, the fund that food stamps come from. See, they're not going to tell you that this stuff is funded from the Native American Dawes Rolls. This is an exchange that was set up a long time ago by Native Americans, and they owe you money, but you have to tie into it by calling yourself a nationality. You have to find out who you are and tie to a nation and nationality. Even if you're a European over here and you call yourself sovereign, you can form pacts with Native Americans as a European. Say, for instance, your descendants from Italy. You may be originally from Italy, but you can form pacts with Native Americans and tie yourself in as a sovereign over here, and they have to protect you. So it doesn't really matter, period, about whether you black, white, or whatever the case is going to be. People going to always get their balls busted if they don't, A, know who they are, and then B, unite with other people that are like who they are. Unity is the key. So you got to unite. So you can be radical and do that, and you can take these people to court. And you can keep taking them to court after court until you win. And then on top of that, if they come attack you, you can defend yourself. You see? Then you can have a military in the community like the Black Panthers did. They police their own people. You don't need the police. You can police your own people. You see, you can set this stuff up in your neighborhoods and your communities. Police are peace officers. Anybody can be a peace officer. All you need is a badge. That's what they really are. They're not going to tell you that. And only when you become a corporation, then you become their slave, and you got to do what they say. But it does mean that you need to learn the laws so that you know when you're in areas that are controlled by the corporation, because there are areas that are controlled by the corporation, and there are areas that are controlled by the sovereign in any city. You see, the city is corporate. They may own the roads, and they may own certain buildings. You can't go in the store and steal and say, well, I'm sovereign, all this is mine, so I'm just going to go steal this because this is mine. It doesn't work like that. You have to know what's yours and what isn't. And if you set up and you call yourself a sovereign and set up a sovereign business, you won't need to steal. You won't need to riot and do things. You can use money to beat these people out. Their own fiat notes. You can use that money. Fiat notes were created because they owe a debt. That's why they don't have any real money circulate. They owe a debt to the sovereign. They owe you. So that's what it comes down to. And that's radical. You know what I'm saying? This is the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is radical. It's going to take radical people to bring the spirituality back to this planet. Incense and all that stuff is not enough. Burning incense and all of that and healing the world with crystals. It's going to take more. You know, it's definitely, I'm going to have to say this. It's going to take more. I'm not going to keep it real with you as a teacher. I'm not no faker. I'm going to speak the truth regardless. You see? And at the end of the day, it's going to take more than what you guys are doing. What you guys are identifying with and calling yourself black and all of this other stuff and expecting to get results and calling yourself white and using the 14th Amendment is what you're doing, which is a part of the amendment. These are what's called the reconstructed amendments of the Constitution. These amendments were added on. You are much more than that. You're much more than you're much more than a black person. This is a corporation that they own and control. They own the name black. They control the name black. This is why when you fill out a job application, there is no box for nationality. When you go fill out a job application, they don't ask you whether or not you Jamaican or whether or not you Haitian. They say, are you black, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, Asian? These are not nationalities. These are coded, colorable laws. Colorable laws that put you up under the code and the jurisdiction of them. You can't say that you're a national and get a job. They don't ask you if you're Jamaican American. They don't have that box that you could check. So then you got to check other and write it in. And if you get a job, you can work for these people and still be sovereign. Is just a way to do it. Tell them, no, you don't take no taxes out of my check because I'm not a part of the colorable laws. You write in your nationality of what you are. And people come over here and they play the game. Hispanics do it. You from Mexico, but you call yourself Hispanic. You're a Mexican American. This is your nationality. This used to be called a Mexan. They talking about throwing out Mexicans from over here in America. This used to be, this country was called a Mexan before it was called America. People don't know that. That needs to be addressed. That's where the term Mexico comes from. This is a Mexican. This was a Mexan. You can't just throw people out of here that are indigenous to here. This was your land. When you tie yourself back to the land, they won't be able to do that. So they're using the 14th Amendment to throw you out. You have to tie yourself into the First Amendment, make yourself a first-class citizen instead of a fourth-class citizen. Then your vote will become stronger. See, this is radical. Then you can decide who gets up in there. Because when you're a 14th Amendment citizen, which is what all of you are, even if you're white, don't matter, all of you are 14th Amendment citizens that consider yourself white, Hispanic, or black. You know 3/4 of your vote is only counted? You're 3/4 of a being. Or 3/5, 3/5. You're 3/5 of a being. I've talked about this before, so this is radical. This is what I would do, is being radical. And then if you attack us, then we going to whoop your motherfucking ass. Then we going to do that. Because you're going to pay us what you owe us. You see? Now, I'm not scared to say, I say it in front of anybody. You owe me. You work for me at the end of the day as a national, because I know who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down after this. So, like, you know, people that's rioting, I say this and doing this stuff, until you get more knowledge, keep doing what you do. I support it. You know, but I just say become more constructive in your radicalism. Become more united. Don't just riot and then just do that. Go set up your own businesses. Start spending money with yourself like the Jews did. You see, when the Jews was suppressed and in slavery up under, when they was in Germany or wherever they was at, they started their own economy. This is why they're so powerful to this day. They said never again. Jews are radical just like so-called black people, but they're constructively radical. It takes somebody with knowledge and intellect. Let's apply this stuff that we know with the UCCs and secure party creditor and all of these things. And, you know, I want to make videos talking about this stuff, but, you know, I'll talk about it more in private or whatever. But at the end of the day, at least learn your nationality, learn your descent, learn who you are, and that will help you to decide what type of conscious person you're going to be. But I'll say this, don't become conscious and don't get in the conscious movement if you're not willing to become radical. It's not all about what these people trying to make it out to be. This ain't no peace rally. There's no spirituality on this planet. You lost your spirituality. And if you are oppressed people, you lost it to another group of people that control and rule over you. And the only way you're going to get justice is through you. Somebody's mind, you're going to have to get justice. It's going to take some form of a revolution. The planets go through revolutions. It's natural. This is a part of nature, you see. So I just want to say that to the star seeds. You know, I got exciting things I want to do in September and working on right now for you guys. Like me, myself, personally, I'm not in the system. I'll just say that. So you ask me, so what have you done? Are you a part of the Matrix? No. I'm not a part. They don't like me. Why do you think I go through all this drama? They don't give a fuck about me. They don't like me. So no, I'm not a part of that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I thank you guys for listening and watching. Until my next video, I'm going to leave you with Namaste, Hotep, good vibes, and to all my hood niggas, we out.